One of the most intriguing things about The Handmaid's Tale is Yvonne Strahovski herself, since she's practically the life of the show. Her portrayal of Serena has been constantly praised and cherished, thanks to how her character stays so true to the books. Here, we'll be looking into Yvonne's perspective on her role, the themes of the show, and the upcoming season. First off, what does Yvonne feel about playing Serena? Serena Joy Waterford is a character that we all have mixed feelings about. Anyone who knows the show knows that she is struggling to achieve a cause that seems almost impossible to an extent. However, she is a symbol of feminine power no one can deny. The kind to rebel even when things seem lost and destroyed. But when Yvonne was asked whether she finds any similar aspects between her character and herself, she denied it entirely. According to her, she hopes that there are no similarities between them both. In many people's eyes, she is Commander Fred Waterford's ferocious and evil-doing wife who is liable for abusing June Osborne to have a child. For Yvonne, it's odd to portray her and defend everything she did, especially the horrible things. Since she is a human being, Yvonne tried to humanize her character to the greatest extent she could. She wanted to point out how, even though it frequently appears otherwise, Serena isn't sitting there planning to be bad. Numerous unfortunate circumstances force her to take actions she would otherwise never resort to. She has to prioritize herself in a world where no one cares about her. Morality cannot interfere when you're the only person who cares about you. For that reason, it's vital to understand Serena's role on a deeper level through the eyes of a person who is a woman in an extremely patriarchal society. Following up, Yvonne sees Fred's murder in the show as justice. In her reflections on the horrific murder of Fred Waterford, Strahovski claims that it was the justice that everybody wanted to see. She added how she is sorry Joe isn't part of the show anymore, just to clarify. Even though it's problematic, she thought his ending was beautiful and vital. She continued by referring to the satisfaction that Yvonne thrived on when she got to ask Fred to choose his way of death. He could either die by a gun or a whistle, which would involve him being chased. It might seem gruesome to many, but following the abuse she had to endure at Fred's hands, do you really blame her? In the final episode of The Handmaid's Tale, fans can recall the moving scene when June saw Fred in prison and he reminded her he had no bad will against her. He then appeared to apologize and acknowledge the grief he'd caused her. Bruce Miller, the series creator, recently said that during the season's research, his team consulted with survivors of misogyny, systemic rape, and abuse to determine the effects of this type of apology. According to Strahovski, Fred's sorrow provided June with the poison she needed to kill him. It practically confirmed that he had been aware of his actions all this time. This self-awareness brought her the courage to conclude that the man deserves death. Moving on, Yvonne's outlook on the message of the show's events is pretty strong. Talking about Fred's murder, she thought it was certainly a crucial and immensely complicated scenario. The kind of response one may have to an apology like Fred's is a confusing matter. Since the show airs on TV, she felt it was a great way to get a complicated issue across to a general audience. The Handmaid's Tale may be based on a dystopian universe, but it doesn't mean it cannot apply to the real world. Issues regarding the control of female bodies and how they are reduced and dehumanized aren't that foreign to our world either. Yvonne simply hopes that watching the show may help shift perspectives in any way possible. In the upcoming season, June is going to be dealing with the repercussions of murdering Waterford. Serena, who is now widowed and expecting a child, tries to increase her prominence in Canada as Gilead's power grows. Although many viewers might anticipate Serena to seek retribution for the murder of her late husband in season 5, Strahovski disagrees. She explains how she is attempting to defend herself because she's afraid. That has always served as a motivation behind her misbehavior. She feels threatened and ends up doing things she may regret. In the end, she fears losing her child because of anything June might do. The actress continues by warning viewers what to expect from the upcoming season. There will be talk about the depth of a person's trauma and its loneliness, along with justice and the deep recessions of our minds, hearts, and souls. Coming up, Lizzie and Yvonne have some explosive things in store for the next season. The filming of season 4 was done during the days of the pandemic. Even though double masking and regular testing were still in use during season 5's production, Strahovski and Moss's on-screen time together stood out as having changed between the two seasons. As performers, Lizzie and she didn't collaborate as much in the 4th season. According to Strahovski, she didn't see a lot of Lizzie in the previous season, which is why it was great to get back into that zone. This zone refers to when they got to do the June and Serena explosive things. To avoid giving away any plot details, Strahovski refused to provide instances of the explosive encounters between the two characters that we may anticipate. But if the teaser for the season suggests anything, June and Serena appeared to be out for blood. The actress says that she thinks there's a chance for a truce to happen. Even then, she was not sure how long Serena and June's alliance would continue. Although June is essentially a better person, she doesn't think it will last forever. Yvonne had some very important questions to ask regarding how one could get rid of what the other person did to them. Additionally, how could one even refuse to forgive, forget, and move on? These are things that Strahovski has hinted at when it comes to the future of the characters. The context of what these characters have been through is important in figuring out how they will react in uncertain circumstances of the future. Up next, does Strahovski think Serena could be a good mother? Since the beginning of the show's filming at the end of 2016, Yvonne has had 2 children of her own. In December 2021, her younger son was born to her. In season 5, Serena is carrying her child in her womb, and the actress finds it challenging to think of Serena's traits that will make her a healthy mother to her child. Yvonne describes Serena's confusing persona to be that of a tough survivor. She has also experienced a great deal of pain related to her desertion, but Yvonne believes she will ultimately blame her child for it. Serena and her child would have a very complex connection from her perspective. She even jokingly asserted that the child would likely require extensive rehabilitation. In a nutshell, Strahovski's understanding of her character is at a level deeper than just acting. As a woman, she sees the consequences of the trauma that she's been through. Moving on, the show's message hits home every time. The themes covered in The Handmaid's Tale related to sexism, misogyny, and female subjugation appeared on our screens at a time when women around the world were facing significant socio-political challenges. Even during the Trump era, the show's protagonists' red cloaks and white wings turned into a symbol of contemporary feminism and the battle for gender equality. Fans of the series often wore white wings and crimson cloaks to public demonstrations. After the Supreme Court decided to overrule Roe v. Wade, the symbolism resurfaced on the streets. The show's themes universally apply to the world today, which Miller insisted was quite unintentional. Margaret Atwood has explored these themes in the books in such a way that no matter what time you pick this book up, you will feel its relevance. From Strahovski's perspective, it's quite strange to see the alignment of the show's themes with the relevant issues going on around the world over the years. Considering that, to her it seems that the current politics might unintentionally have an impact on the writing of the show, which ends up translating into the final piece. Finally, what are Yvonne's hopes for Serena's future? The actress was thinking about her character's destiny just days after the show's producers announced the 6th season during the Toronto Film Festival. She stated that she'd love to see Serena experience a turning point and realize that everything she's done is bad. But then she laughed about it, adding that if that happens, she wouldn't be Serena Joy. After having gone through so much, many of us would hope for Serena to find some peace and accept her sins as well. In the end, many people resonate with the rage she feels. They wish for the power she has to overcome any oppression they might face. And that's a wrap, folks. What are you guys expecting from the upcoming season of The Handmaid's Tale? Tell us in the comments below, and as always, make sure to click that like button and subscribe to our channel so you never miss out on more exciting updates about the show. See you in the next video.